entertainment. And you're talking about one Guyana. When the Ministry of Culture keep the big shows, one set of girls and banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You hide the corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. Every picture you take and promise you make, everything you do is about clouds. Then you come into me for I shake your hand, there's nothing to smile about. Corruption inside every sector, but when it comes to them, they send you. Try investigate efficiency, right? Go talk to Baratans too, cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. I done fed up on the dirty water, low pressure, want scream and tell somebody. Imagine 1500 US, and they're telling me super salary. I done fed up on the unemployment racism and the lie they say one Guyana. Cause when you look with the oil money going, circulate with one set of banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up.
Yeah, my name is Jacinti Caldata Francis Vietnam, and since 1965 I become a voter, and I always place my ex next to the cup, and what they are doing today I can't take it, so I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data.
Oh, Jesus Christ, if cost of living double, I don't know what happened. A pound of sugar is $300 already. Flour, everything gone up. Everything just raising. You gotta get about $40,000 for buy good ration. You gotta get 3 man now. A weekend man, a monthly man, and a fortnight man.
I am Aubrey Compton Norton, presidential candidate of the Partnership for National Unity. We have the best team in this election campaign. We have the best manifesto with the plans, policies that will take you out of poverty. We will ensure that money is put into your pocket. For those reasons, we urge you to vote APNU. Put your X next to the palm. Ghana needs to grow, so the PPP must go. The only party that can give us a better and brighter future is a Partnership for National Unity. I urge you to put your X next to the palm and enjoy a high quality life. Thank you.
You want to tell me all these years, Mohammed and his father and all of them is a part of PPP that had gone at the PPP office, Freedom House on Rob Street, protecting the PPP from the black people and PNC. And all the time, you there in there, you never see that they ill-treating black people, they killing out black people. You never see this corruption within this party. All the time, you, your family, your uncle, your father, your sister, your mother, everybody supporting this party. Y'all never see that this party is corrupt. Never at no point in time until sanctions start raining down upon you and you expect them to cover you, and they did not cover you. They took away all your gold and diamond license and your business license, your cambio license, and you get upset. And then you started to decide that, you know what, I can run for election to get rid of the sanction, and I can run for election to get back at the...
People want to know how to vote. People want to know how to vote. You understand me? Look carefully. Where you put the X. Right there. Right at the palm. You get your ballot box, You go to the ballot, you go to the booth. You go in the booth, collect your ballot, and you go and you watch all the candidates. And you go and you put your X right there at the palm. Right there! So you know how to vote now. Right at the palm.
Right there, according to Mark Welcome. Lots and lots of reasons that you have to vote in order to vote the corrupt PPP out of office. Hey, good night. My name is Mark Bishop. Welcome to Straight Up. Welcome to Straight Up on 107.1 FM. Things are beefing up, and when I say beefing up, from election standpoint, that you've got to go out, you've got to do like William Bill Cato and others, all of you, Christian Damon, and all of you, to go out. If you're not in Guyana, call your relatives and your friends, because September 1st is important. If you make the wrong turn or the wrong decision on September 1st, that's all I'm saying. Do not throw your vote away. Do not mix your votes up with corruption. Do not do that. Do not feel sympathetic toward anybody who want to save themselves from sanctions, from extradition to the U.S., or from some sort of unsealed or sealed indictment still awaiting them. Do not do that. Whether it's Bharat Jagdev, who has, according to information, a lump sum amount of money in Chinese bank accounts, all these things, do not waste your vote. Put emotions aside, guys. Put all of your emotions aside. Now is not time for bumps to raise. I've noticed one or two people, some kunumunus, I would say, why Mark waited now to endorse the APNU? Why now? All sort of, why now? Do you know even 1 hour? Do you know even 1 day? But some of y'all complain too goddamn much. Accept the endorsement, because hundreds and hundreds of people have already started to do what they have to do. Accept it, move on, keep your eyes on the prize. Too much bickering. Some of y'all sound like that mad crazy guy with that birdnest hair. Now, I'm not saying that to insult you. 99% of you understand what the message was all along. 99% of you understand what needs to be done come September 1st. Y'all are not dotish people. Y'all are not like what Bharat Jagdev says, that Guyana got this sort of stupidity people. No. Don't buy into that. If you guys weren't reading between the lines all along, it simply means y'all don't know politics. Y'all don't understand. Y'all are just going on emotions. And some of y'all believe that because I said, I say something that y'all don't like about Aubrey Norton, y'all bumps raise, y'all get vexed, y'all get nose cold running down y'all left side nose, and boo-boo and all these sort of things. Y'all like get vexed too damn quick. That's the problem with some of you guys. Get quick. Vex, quick, right? Quick. That's how some of you guys like to be here. And y'all believe that everybody just got to hug up and kiss up all the time. There will be disagreements sometimes. There will be constructive criticism sometimes. Y'all got to accept that. Remove the bumps, remove the bruises, and move on. September 1st is the day. And that's the focus. No, right, Joylyn? Sometimes I don't know what's going on with some folks, right? They get ticklish really quickly. And then the bumps raise. When the bumps raise, they know who this, they know who against who not against who this, who the, and then they blow and blow. By time 9:30, they're so tired that they fall asleep. They can't even watch out the entire program to understand what's going on. And now somebody said to me that, what's his name? Cash Garden or Flash Garden or whatever. Flash Garden was on Kadaki's program. You know, Kadaki like Tornani program disappear. Good night to Kadaki. So Garden Cash or whatever was on Kadaki's show this morning. Suddenly he said, Mark is his brother. Mark is my brother. So you only become brothers is when people just talk and do what you like. Outside of that, you're not brothers. You know how many of you are my brothers and sisters out there? my political brothers and sisters out there. I don't necessarily agree with you guys all the time, but when I disagree with you, sometimes you're still my political brothers and sisters. But some people, I don't know, man. But anyway, y'all go back and tell Crash Cash, what's this, a Flash Garden. Tell him I said thank you, but tell him that he has always been my brother, always, and will always be my brother, whether we agree all the time or we do not agree all the time. And that is what you call mature politicking. All right, so let's move on. Let's get the green hearts. We need the green hearts. We need to get that going, all of you. And we could, if somebody get a little purple heart, and what's Simona Green, Simona Brooms, we get a little flash thing there for Simona and the Apostle London and them. They're good people, you know. They're good people. Some people thought that, so I've read some comments, they had this idea that you got to read politics, you got to understand politics. They're not enemies. I think they mean well. I do think they mean well. In fact, they're better than the other individual that is running to save himself. Forget about him. I don't know. Something wrong. Joylyn Cutting, how are you doing? I don't know why I keep mentioning Joylyn Cutting name. She just come on, she do she thing. She's a trooper. And lots of you guys are troopers out there. And if I get $1 right now, you know how things going, right? I will put my last dollar that Joylyn Cutting is probably preparing to go to Guyana for elections and to help with the vote. For those of you who are not going to Guyana, you can help out. Now, the party hasn't mentioned anything. I'm just doing my thing my own way, mind you. You guys know I'm an own way child, right? Look, whatever way you guys can help out, help them out. Even if it's $1, help them out. Even if it's $100, help them out. With t-shirts, with whatever. And there's no such thing as too late. No such thing as too late. One individual, why Mark? Why Mark only now? And, you know, I'm like, you couldn't be serious. Nothing, sometimes nothing, please. Some of you guys out there, why now? And like with a mash mouth, why now? I'm like, y'all know me already. I'm like, get away from here, man. Get away. David Wood, how are you doing? I noticed Osbert Austin, how are you doing, sir? How are you guys doing? All of you good people out there. Munish Ramnarain, how are you? People are asking for orange. They love orange. But let me say this to you guys. I didn't want to let you guys know, but orange didn't show up for work today. So we might have to go back to lemon. All these guys, orange, lemon, same thing. So we're going to move away from those sort of individuals. The minute we see them, we're hiring people with real names now. No, come here with orange, your name orange, or your name lemon. Right next to Lewis. How are you guys doing, though? All of you. Good night again. Welcome to Straight Up. Keep your eyes on the prize. Keep focused. Stay focused. Because come September 1st, you've got to do what you've got to do. And now, I spoke last evening with the leader of the opposition, the presidential candidate. I spoke with him today. In fact, just about maybe less than an hour ago. And he did say that they have all these meetings that's happening right now and throughout the week and so forth. We are going to see if the leader is going to stop in our studio for a few minutes. He did say, and we do understand because there was an arrangement for a pre-recorded interview. And of course, I did say to the leader that you guys want him live. But if we have to do a pre-recording, maybe sometime tomorrow or by Thursday, we will do just that. But let us see and keep your fingers crossed that the leader of the opposition, the presidential candidate, will join us, even if it's for a few minutes tonight, understanding his busy schedule. But apart from that, let's move on. Let me see some of your comment. Let me see. Francine Cruz, also known as Bingo Thief, is saying, when will you be having Aubrey Compton Norton on your show? Obviously, Francine seemed to, maybe English is not Francine's first language, but I just said what I said. Could somebody just explain to Francine Cruz in the audience, please? Good night again to all of you. And then sometime during the course of, the night, Little Corbin, I say Little Corbin not to disrespect him. He's a young man, and we'd like to have him on to ask. I want to ask him some questions because he's not going to pop out just like that and take over the show and all these things and tell people who is better looking than me and he's smarter than me and whatever. I want him on this show. And so I'm going to say to him right now, Eden Corbin, come downstairs. Come downstairs. Good night again to all of you. Share the link. Yes, Carl Miller, you guys seem to be following the leader of the opposition. And during the course of the week, we will have the candidates of the APNU. This doesn't mean that we are not going to give a little few time to forward movement people or Simona Brooms and so forth. They're my friends. Simona Brooms has been my friend for how long? Over 20-something years, man. That's how we're getting up there. And I wish them all the best. No ill feeling towards them. But whatever leftover votes, I hope the leftover votes go to either Simona Brooms or Forward Guyana. I don't wish for it to go anywhere else. Trust me, I really do mean it. Nowhere else. Don't waste your vote. Don't throw your votes away to anybody or any political party that wouldn't give a rat's you know what about you guys at all. Leighton Charles, how are you doing? Let's see what Leighton Charles is saying here. The leaders of the fringe party should pluck up enough courage. All right. Focus on policies, focus on parties' policies. It's can't ship the PPP, their supporter. Whatever way, Mr. Charles, Leighton Charles, they will be on the ballot. Even if they pluck out their way and decide that they're not going, their names will be, and party names will be on the ballot. So focus on policies, focus on selling your candidates, focus on selling your green T-shirt, your green flag. Do all these sort of things. We notice Wayne Caesar is in the audience with us. Wayne Caesar, good night. Wayne is going to be on sometime this week as well. We know that Wayne has been missing. So I'll take a quick break, guys, and we'll be right back.
I can't take it no more. I can't take it no more. Can't take it no more. Imagine 18 hours of blackout and you're telling people progress. Cost of living gone up 100%, yet you give public servant less. Mr. President, listen to the people. Search your soul and you will confess. I want you try surviving on the public face, then you're gonna know but stress. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. They don't drive no fear with the citizen. They may want the people speak out. Freedom of speech done gone inside the gutter. Knock off when you open your mouth. Discrimination in entertainment. And you're talking about one Guyana.
All right. Thank you so much. We just had to take a call there from our executive producer who's saying that the leader of the opposition and presidential candidate will be in studio with us. Please do spread the word, spread the link. And we will have a few minutes with him. And of course, we have been, we're waiting for the link to go through. So please spread the word. And now it's not time for grouchy thing and who this and where y'all believe and Mark suddenly this. For those of you who say Mark suddenly this, Leighton Charles, teach them a little bit politics there, man. Joylin Cutting, what's going on, my friend? We've got to catch up for Labor Day weekend. Those of you who are preparing to go out there for Labor Day, make sure you have your green rag, your green kerchief, put on your green travel fox. Those of you who remember travel fox, put on your green ballies. The old timers will know that. Put on your green Congo and just chip away on the parkway. So I will be there. I'll be with the Guyanese crew, the Guyanese contingent. I'll be with my crew, my folks, Joylin Cutting and others, if you're going to be there. Because I noticed somebody cussing me out that they don't see me around. They don't, I don't know what's going on with some people. Almost everything they're cussing me about, man. Somebody cussed me the other night, tell me that I got to get a haircut. I don't know. We got to stay focused. We got to stay focused on what the message is all about. And this is what part of the message is. You've got to know where to put your X come September 1st and how to put your X, please. Here's a demonstration by Mark. Welcome.
People want to know how to vote. People want to know how to vote. You understand me? Look carefully. Where you put the X. Right there. Right at the palm. You get your ballot box. You go to the ballot, go to the booth. You go in the booth, collect your ballot, and you go and you watch all the candidates. and you go and you put your X right there at the palm. Right there! So you know how to vote now. Right at the palm.
Everybody's going out there and they're teaching each one, teach one, and so forth, how to vote. Don't spoil your vote. Don't waste your vote. Don't spoil your vote. That's it. Our executive producer has signaled to us that the leader of the opposition is in studio. He's also the presidential candidate of the APNU. That's the coalition. Let's have a few minutes with him. Good night, sir. How are you doing?
Good evening. I'm fine. Just finished a public meeting, so
All right. And what's
I'm fine.
Yeah, thank you so much. As you travel around the country, we see the numbers, we see the crowd increasing all across the country as you guys go. We are seeing and we are hearing the green wave. What was the message tonight to the audience, to the people that went out there in their numbers to listen to your message, sir?
Es- e- Essentially, in it,
You know, as expected, the leader
we
is
are
traveling,
putting
and
people first for the development.
yeah, we are getting just in and out, sir. But go ahead.
Yes, I was saying that the message has been we are putting people first, that we're going to put money into the people's pockets. We're going to have programs to develop the people. I spoke to them about our rent to own program, which will build houses, rent it to them, and once the rent covers the cost, they will own it. I spoke to them about our mortgage and rent assistance. We talk about the how we will deal with the school children, ensuring they have 2 hot meals. Essentially, the whole purpose of the meeting was to speak to people on how we're going to get them out of poverty, reduce the cost of living, and ensure that they can live a quality life.
And I guess that's the message that is resonating on people's minds and all across the country. Indeed, get
Yes.
them out of the poverty. Getting them out of poverty, an occasional cash grant doesn't do it, right, Mr. Norton?
No, we make that very clear that we have structured policies and programs that will take them out of poverty. For instance, we are talking about agricultural development, how we are going to ensure there's sustainable agriculture in every region, which will increase production of goods, and that production of goods, once increased, will contribute to a reduction in the cost of living. We are focusing significantly on the things we need to do to reduce the cost of living. We have also said that tonight we told them in no uncertain terms that the government's policy on law is discriminatory and that all the Guyanese who qualify to go to law school will obtain scholarships from the government of Guyana so that they can go law school and to other universities. We have made it clear that we will end the PPP friends, families, and favorite approach in which everything is structured to give a few the opportunities and depriving the rest of the same opportunities. We have also made it very clear to them that all the government is doing is to keep doing things to keep them in poverty, not empowering them and ensure they develop small businesses and so that they can come out of poverty. Our focus is an anti-poverty program that will ensure that our people develop and become independent, decent, and respectable people rather than dependent persons who um, have got to rely on government handout. We also said to them that this is a fight for freedom because at this stage, the government instills fear. The government is preventing public servants from expressing their views, etc. And so we have said to them when they vote on September 1st, they're voting to regain their freedom from this dictatorial government that has been going on the internet, seeing what people post, and then come back and fire them and those kinds of things. So we have been all encompassing, but our main message is to take people out of poverty, give them a high quality life, and ensure that they are functioning services in the society, including the police force, which we promise to totally overhaul.
Well said, Aubrey Compton Norton, the presidential candidate for APNU and the leader of the People's National Congress. reform. Mr. Norton, and let me just let our listeners know that he has taken time out. His the busy schedule today. He's currently in his vehicle driving, so the internet connection, we are trying to make the best out of that. Mr. Norton, there is messages, phone calls from PPP operatives begging people to vote and reminding them that they get cash grant and reminding them about votes, I mean, roads or whatever. Obviously, a sign of desperation on the part of the PPP, huh?
Yeah, it's both desperation and I would say a kind of a barefacedness that you give people cash grants. We know the data was there because there was the voters list, but you collect their name and numbers and then believe you could give yourself an advantage by calling them and reminding them about cash grant and asking them for vote to them. I think a lot of people are rejecting them, and I believe they sorry that they ever took that approach because the people who they hope that they will get to vote for them are not going to vote for them. Many people are telling them off, and so that is where that is.
Absolutely. For those of you who have heard the messages, it's despicable. Just disregard it. But we have heard recently that the internal poll shows that the APNU coalition is going to win the elections. Can you talk to us a little bit about the vote and how optimistic you are and your team, how optimistic you guys are of winning the September 1st elections?
I'm very, very optimistic, but I am not carrying that message. I'm carrying the message that we will win, but we have to do more work to ensure we win. We want to secure it. We don't want anybody to become complacent. We want, tonight when I spoke to them, I said they must go out there, bring every family, every friend. We have to increase the turnout. And once we can increase the turnout for about 5 to 7%, we are going to beat the People's Progressive Party. But we're avoiding putting our people in a state of complacency.
Absolutely. This is about anti-corruption, to vote against corruption and so forth. I've noticed that your campaign is not focused on individuals who are trying to save themselves from some sort of corruption and allegations of lots and lots of criminal activities, allegations, mind you. How do you manage within your team to stay focused and sell what is most important to people in terms of lifting them up from where they are and providing a better future for them and their loved ones?
We provide all of our speakers with a speaker's brief. And when we were coming down to the last 2 weeks, I met all the candidates, etc. And we distilled it and decide about 7 or 8 things we will focus on. And they have been focusing on that. So across the country, we're getting the message out that the free house lot is impacting. We have been able to point out to people that the PPP claiming that they deliver on their promises, but we have been showing them that they haven't delivered. Only today they claim that they delivered 12 hospitals. And I pointed out at the public meeting today, they're making a mistake of believing a hospital is just a building, but it has to have medical staff, etc. Only today at Lima, one of the new hospitals, somebody died for the lack of oxygen. Why tell us about a new hospital when it doesn't have the basics?
Absolutely, Mr. Norton. And again, this is just a few minutes of your time, and we really do appreciate that. Accidents all across the country, roads are shabby, potholes all over. Just today, about 3 persons lost their lives on the Linden Soosdijk Highway. There was a shooting in Charlestown, Georgetown today.
No, Charlotte Street. Charlotte Street,
Charlotte
not
Street.
Charles.
Yeah,
Border.
Charlotte Street. Thank you so much.
Border.
People, thank you so much. People want hope. People want not every day that they're going to see crimes and accidents upon accidents. Tell us a little bit, how are people feeling with all of the catastrophes there in that country right now?
Well, from the time they were doing the Soosdijk Linden Highway, we knew that they were doing a lot of nonsense. If rain falls, the water accumulates because it doesn't have proper drainage. And then once they're doing it and they're not putting back as yet the markings in the night, the road is very dark. So look, the government's whole infrastructure program is a mess. The road construction doesn't cater for flow of traffic. I mean, if you anticipate what is going to happen, the
The so-called New Heroes Highway is always traffic jam. And then we were going to put the bridge over the Demerara River to come off at a different point. They now gone and put it on Heroes Highway. So when that bridge opens, there will be added confusion. We are saying to the people of Guyana that we will have an infrastructure development plan. We will use modern signage. We will ensure that we focus on traffic flow and in redesigning the roads, etc. All things like safety, etc., will be taken into consideration. We have a section in our manifesto on infrastructure that sets out clearly how we intend to improve the infrastructure and at the same time contribute to the safety and security of people on the roads of Guyana.
All right, well said. I just have two questions more before we go. I want you to listen to this tape and respond to it, please, sir.
PPP will take care of you.
Sorry about that. Certainly not that one, but it has the one where Barra Jagdev is threatening to unleash the joint services and so forth, and talking about disruption after elections. Again, another scare tactic coming from Barra Jagdev. I guess you heard that by now, what he said.
And I have responded to it. I've already said that we are not going to allow the PPP to rig the elections. And over the years, I have avoided street protests because I didn't think it was a good strategy at the time. But we are not going to allow them to rig the elections. And I made it very clear, and I repeat it tonight, that any attempt to rig the elections will have serious consequences and trouble. And I know Jack Doe has good sense. He only plays stupid.
Absolutely. Forgive me, I did say two questions, but I have one about GCOM. How confident are you? Because we are reading some things that are not really nice coming out of GCOM, but how confident are you that GCOM is able to produce credible and transparent and fair elections?
I have no confidence whatsoever. First of all, you start with a bloated list. Secondly, you refuse biometrics. That says to me you are preparing the conditions to rig the elections. What we are doing is preparing our agents as much as possible. We intend to put our strongest agents in those PPP strongholds where they're involved in illegalities and to try as much to reduce the malpractices of the People's Progressive Party. They had pressured the policemen into things like taking photo before the rule was made, and one policeman or two of them did it. We are bringing private criminal charges against them because we believe they have violated the law, and though the police won't act, we intend to bring criminal charges. We have made it very clear that there can be no trust in GCOM. The chairman always votes with the PPP commissioners, so we have to watch her and watch everything carefully. We know that they put a chief justice in place to be able to control the legal framework. So we're looking at all the variables and we will respond appropriately.
Finally, Mr. Norton, the PPP have not done well over 23 years since they've been in office, and the 3 years, even with the oil wealth, has been a disaster. I know your party and your manifesto, you guys do have a lot offering Guyanese in general, whether pensioners, whether they are public servants, or even the young people. Specifically in your closing remarks, please address young people and why young people should go out in their numbers and vote for APNU.
Because young people need jobs, young people need to be assisted in business, young people need quality education, young people need a safe society to operate in, and the only movement that is offering that is a partnership for national unity. In addition, we have made it very clear that we will expand technical and vocational training so those young people can get training and get the jobs that exist in Guyana, rather than this government approach of importing people from Bangladesh and around the world. We intend to change that. Young people also can expect a fair society, a society in which the police stop ill-treating them, and some of them are framed by the police. You also have a situation where those with wealth can make complaints against ordinary people, and the police act. We're saying to young people, you will be protected. We're saying to young people, especially those wanting to pursue law, we will change that rule where the PPP doesn't give law scholarships, and we will deliver law scholarships to young people. We are also developing a program to put young people in gold mining. So there are some programs that we have, and we believe young people would recognize that the free house lot that we have offered has resonated with um, young people, and we believe young people will vote because we have the best package for the youth in Guyana. In fact, we have the package to cover every cohort in Guyana.
Thank you so much. Appreciate your time. Have a safe trip home and be careful with those potholes. Thank you, sir. Don't be a stranger. We invite you back before elections time. Thank you.
Okay, I'll try and make the time. Thanks, Mark.
Sure. Thank you, sir. Leader of the opposition, Aubrey Compton Norton, there for you guys. He's also the presidential candidate. And come September 1st, hey, guess what you've got to do? You've got to go out there and vote because voting for APNU, voting for the team headed by Compton Aubrey Norton is a vote against corruption and a vote for Guyana, the entire Guyana, to be able to breathe again. All right. We'll take a quick break and we'll be back just about maybe 1 minute or so.
I am Aubrey Compton Norton, presidential candidate of their Partnership for National Unity. We have the best team in this election campaign. We have the best manifesto with the plans, policies that will take you out of poverty. We will ensure that money is put into your pocket. For those reasons, we urge you to vote APNU. Put your X next to the palm. Guyana needs to grow, so the PPP must go. The only party that can give us a better and brighter future is a Partnership for National Unity. I urge you to put your X next to the palm and enjoy a high quality life. Thank you.
All right, so you've got to go out and vote in your numbers. Don't waste your vote. Don't vote out of emotions. Vote because the team can take Guyana out from where it is right now. And in my opinion, as I look around, of course, I look around, I do believe that the APNU's team is the best team to do that. And hence my endorsement last evening. I hope hundreds or thousands of you will be able to follow suit and spread the word. Put emotions aside. Hey, guess what? I have another surprise for you guys. Let's get straight into Studio A. Yep. Let's get ready to rock and roll. Guess who is with us? Eden Corbin. His background is a little dark, but you guys would see. You guys know that it's Eden. Good night, sir. How are you doing?
Good night, Mark. It's great to be here again, and it's great to be here with you.
It's good to have you side by side, so that people can make that decision, because I know you said what you said. You're the better looking one. You are smarter. And I already put my hands up and I say that is correct. You are absolutely honest and truthful about that. But let's get straight down to business. Tell us a little bit about Eden Corbin. Who exactly is Eden Corbin? Which part of Guyana are you from, schooling, and so forth and so on? Go right ahead, sir.
Okay, well, Eden Corbin is a very nice person to set the tone. I attended Queen's College. Afterwards, I went to the Bishop's Side to pursue CAPE for law. I had an intention to become a lawyer. After then, I went to University of West Indies, and due to COVID-19, I would have opted to stay in Guyana and continue my first degree at the University of Guyana. So I had the opportunity of attending both University of the West Indies and the University of Guyana, where I would have done my bachelor's in law. Afterwards, I was given a unique opportunity to do my master's in law. I did that at the University of West Indies as well. So I have a master's in legislative drafting and corporate and commercial law. I just completed my 2-year stint at the Hewlin Law School, and I'm one of those persons who would have been really happy to receive a scholarship from the government. I did apply under this current administration, and I was told that there were no scholarships available, only to reach there and find out that certain persons were being given special types of scholarship to pursue in that regard, I am a lover of music, a lover of arts, poetry. I've been very familiar in these fields. But more importantly, I'm committed to growing and developing more youth advocacy and having youths more involved in platforms and in environments like this. More importantly, I love a good joke. Nobody loves or think has a better sense of humor than I do, but I know how to get down to business as we have been doing from since a month ago when our campaign has been launched. And I'm currently a national candidate on the top up list for the partnership of national unity.
You know, I've heard a part of a good jokes from your good friends them at QC, and they reminded me of who you are really, the likes of you know who, the likes of you know who.
Yeah,
Yeah. Of course, let me just say that Eden attended QC there with my son, along with what's the other guy's name? He's studying law in England as well.
Neil.
Othniel, that's correct. If Othniel is watching, good night to Othniel and all the other guys. Yeah, yeah. So Eden, I wish to ask you this, and let me just congratulate you, sir. You have made all of us proud because I knew you when you were in that you first started first Farm One at QC, and then I learned that you went over to Bishops and so forth. So congratulations. They were able to jog my memory as to who you are. Congratulations. One of the good things, though, that we know, the schools and the universities that you've mentioned, we can find those universities. We know where they are, and your degrees, your certificates are authentic. And I wish again to say congratulations. So one of the things that I want to know, and I guess scores of people out there want to know, are you from Georgetown? Are you from Linden? Please tell us you're from Linden, or maybe from Philadelphia.
I could claim Berbice on account of my grandmother and my mother are from Berbice, but I'm
Where?
born and bred tongue boy. I'm not
Where in
gonna
Berbice?
she's from Kanji, Betsy Grown, Kanji, Berbice.
Yeah. So thank you so much, all the folks from Kanji, Betsy, Grung, and so forth. Good night to all of you. You can claim him too, but we don't want the people from Georgetown to claim you. We don't want the people from Berbice to claim you. All of Guyanese, all of us will have to claim you, and so we are claiming you right now. So you mentioned law, and I know you will make an excellent lawyer. But why you got into law and then now you're into politics? Is it something that you always thought of when you were a youngster or even younger?
Well, the law thing has always been something that I've been passionate about. The politics thing came after the fact. And I think that required me to be a little bit more informed and learn and, pay more attention to the history of my country, the Caribbean. But my decision to do law was grounded in, well, what I tell people was because I didn't want to do the sciences, because anybody who went to QC knows is that they do streaming very early. So from like third form, you have to have a good idea of what it is you want to do. And the issue I had was that when they're streaming you in third form, as I wanted to do law, you would have had to pick the art stream. And I wasn't too keen about going into the art stream because I'm telling myself that, oh my, I don't want to do geography. I was really trying to run away from geography. So I hated the sciences, chemistry, biology, all the physics, all those things seem like gibberish to me and they never really appealed to me. You give me social studies and history and these more, I would say, real life things that I could relate to, I tended to gravitate. And anybody who knew me in high school knew that, I could yap, 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 yap. And I was a big talker back in the day. So I used to get a lot that, you should probably do law. You talk a lot, or you like to argue. And I bought into it, not fully aware of what I was doing. And I think it was, just a case of just, something that's just meant to happen. So when I did go into the, I didn't go into art stream, funny story, I went into business instead. Because to me, I'm like, the art stream, your core subjects are geography, history, and social studies, and you could pick up everything else. But I'm like, what am I going to do in an economy with geography, history, and social studies? I'm like, I needed something a little bit more sturdy. I needed something a little bit more solid to fall back on, because my father always put in my mind that, you know, if you're going to do something, do it good, but ensure that you have a plan and a backup plan just in case. So I did the business subjects as a foundation, and I was able to pick up the social studies and history, which you needed to get into CAPE. So that's really how what propelled me. But I think what really solidified my political journey would have been in 2015 when I was at Bishops and I was selected to represent the high school at the first annual Youth Parliament under the auspices of the Parliament of Guyana, because before then, Youth Parliament was held by the Office of the President, if I'm not mistaken. So in 2015, when the government came in, just another show of, you know, how the initiative of this government has always been forward thinking, they thought it best to bring the Youth Parliament under Parliament office. And I was lucky to be a part of that first cohort. And I was even luckier to be appointed as the prime minister for that cohort there in 2015. And when I got there and I was able to interact with, you know, the MPs and the ministers, and, you know, it really opened my mind. And I'm like, well, you know what? I really could see myself doing this here. And it didn't hurt that some of them, if not most of them, were lawyers at the time. And the year before, I had been able to do a work study stint at Parliament as well. And, you know, I developed a very good relationship with the Parliament staff at that time. And, you know, everything just kept falling into place after that. And I was like, you know what? I really want to get into politics. And I was really excited about it. And then I met one of the leaders of YSM. And I think they had a really serious conversation with me. And I was explaining to them, you know, my ambitions and what, you know, you're young, you're just excited, you just want to get out there, you want to change the world. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm going to do this. And, you know, I had a very sobering conversation with one of the YSM leaders, which led to my early political involvement. At that stage, I might have been like 16, 17 or so. And they told me, you know, you need to have political capital. And I'm like, what do you mean by that? And then they broke it down. It's like, you know, you have to be able to have a following. You need to have, you have to be able to mobilize people. You have to be able, if you call a meeting, how many people are going to come because you called the meeting? And it hit me and it struck me when I got into University of West Indies, I actually ran for student government. And I think it was unheard of as a first year student running for the student council. And it was a little different from UG because the University of West Indies campus, St. Augustine, where I was, had close to about 18,000 students or 20,000 students. And you're going to be vying for elections there as a foreigner. I'm not from Trinidad. So I was a foreigner. I was in my first year. And it was like everything I had that was just the right recipe to not win. And with the right connections and with the right friends, I was able to learn a lot in a very short space of time. And I was able to win the elections. The young lady I went up against, she was in her second year. She was familiar with the position that I wanted or that we both wanted. You understand? And it turned out that I was able to beat her by 900 and something votes, which would have accounted for the second highest margin in that elections for that year. So when it was all, when I'm looking back at everything, it's like, wow, you know, it was really, I've been training and developing, but the full politics really came about, like I would say about 3 years ago. I was involved and I was a member or participant in the YSM earlier. And I think about 2017, I joined the YSM fully. And I was still studying. So I was between Guyana and Trinidad over the last, you could say, 6, 7 odd years, you know, traveling.
So well, that in a nutshell, you're hearing the experiences of this young man, Eden Corbin. I've noticed some people, Eden, they're asking what's your relations with Robert Corbin, the former leader. They feel all Corbins are related. But you from Betsy Grung, the other Corbin, Mr. Robert Corbin, is from Linden. Talk to us. Connections there?
Well, interestingly enough, we may not share the direct relation, but I was informed by my family that on a cousin of mine, he's related to that particular person. So we are related, and I have met Mr. Corbin on several occasions at some family functions even. So I claim him as my uncle. and I have
And
not been corrected since. So I'm going to fly with that. He is my uncle.
everybody's claiming, people are claiming you. Thousands of people have already claimed you. Let's talk about the hundreds of thousands of mainly young people who have not been given an opportunity to excel, to be themselves, and to be able to breathe properly in Guyana and to live comfortably as young people. They have been punishing, they have been discriminated against. Some of them, especially young men, are afraid to walk the streets. Many of them have lost their lives under a corrupt government, under a corrupt political party. What are some of the things that you're hearing from young people, people your age, younger or slightly older? What are you hearing, and what are the expectations of young people?
I think one of the main things that really struck me from my political debut about a month ago was the overwhelming support of the young persons. Many persons reached out to me and they were like, you know what, I'm really proud of you. You know, we support you. One of my friends in particular sent me a message and he said, you know, bro, if you know me, you know I don't really dep on the politics thing, and you know I don't really care about this thing. But you know what? I know who Eden is, and because of you, I'm actually going to be paying attention to these elections. You know, some other persons told me that they're really motivated by me coming out. Only today, I was speaking with one of my colleagues from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, who's considering going up and making his political debut as well. And he wanted, some advice from me, or to get some insights into the decision he's making. And I think the Guyanese youths in general, they are just desirous to have more faces just like mine in there. But there's a lot of issues, or there's a lot of gaps between that. In that one, the main observation I have is that the youths do not feel, and I made a post about this a couple weeks back, youths do not feel as if politics has anything to do with them. They say, look, win or lose, whoever is in government, prepare up. No, we still got to work. We still got to hustle at the end of the day. The other set is like, well, politics is an old people thing. And, we ain't really care about that and whatever. And then the next set who are involved feel like, well, we're not giving the opportunities. We're not giving the chances. And you know what? Everybody is right in their own sense, but I like to think of things in a more practical manner. And my advice to the youths always is that, look, I had a conversation with a young man right there, and I told him, I said, here what? He was telling me all kind of things what he don't like, and he was criticizing this party and that party, and everybody was criticizing. And after he was finished, I said, you know what? I don't really hold respect for someone who is going to criticize the political parties and they don't want to do anything about it. I got a little heated and he was like, oh, you getting personal. I was like, it is personal. It is very personal. The trajectory of your country, the people who you put there to lead you, it is very personal. And if you don't see the importance and the value of you as a young person paying attention, being involved, then you're wasting your time. And I have no respect for young persons who don't support any party. I respect you more if you come and you tell me I'm a PPP, or I'm a Win, or I'm in another party, because at least then I know you have a vested interest in your future. And I think that's what you used to do. Too often we're going to criticize the older folks and we'll be like, oh, we're not given opportunities. Oh, we're not, there's no space for youth. And the reality is the older persons as we know it, not you, Mark, but the older persons as we know it, they are going to tell you that when they were younger, they had to fight, they had to work, they had to put it and show themselves valuable and worth the attention that they deserve. So I think one of the big overarching issues with the youths in politics and youth being concerned about politics is the issue of entitlement. They feel too entitled. You feel because you get up and you say I support this party, they're supposed to suddenly propel you to the front. You don't want to do any groundwork. You don't want to get involved. You don't want to go into the communities. You don't want to follow and toe the line, because I keep telling people politics is politics. It is not a community group, as a politician said. It's not a church, right? And we have to take that in what it really means, that in the political landscape, the people who work will be rewarded. And ideally, I want you putting the work in, once you're investing in your own self and you're showing that investment to benefit the party of your choosing or to benefit your community, you would be surprised to see how people will support you. People want to know, how are you on Mark Bench Cup, Eden? What are you doing on Mark Bench Cup? Is only, I just saw Comrade Leader there. How are you on the same platform with these people? Because I took time, I invested myself. Many people might be knowing me now, or many people might be getting familiar with me now. But the work I've been doing and these things are not new to me because I have been doing these for a very, very long time. And if the party could see that, if the Comrade Leader could see that, if Guyana could see that, then there's nothing stopping you from a youth who has a dream, who has a vision, who wants to change my community, who wants to change my society or my country and whole. You got to start somewhere. I was at the Starbrook rally 2 weeks back, and a young man, I know him, he came up to me and he was telling me about, his interest in politics and whatnot. And one thing he said really struck me. He said he's waiting until 2027 to make his political debut. And I watched him and I'm like, okay, while that's nice, do you think that the issues in society are going to wait for you to make up your mind in 2027 to join the party? I said, do you think that the party itself is going to sit and wait for you in 2027 to be able to now decide that, okay, now you're a part of the party, we can fix the country, we can move on. And it goes back to the point of entitlement. I think too many youths feel entitled. They don't want to do the work. They don't want to put in the hard work. They just want this easy life, which everything is given to them. Everything is put or spoon fed. This here and being a part of politics is by no means easy, especially as a young person, because you're always going to be faced with one big word, which is like a pariah experience. I get that every day from my own comrades, from persons outside of the party, from well wishers and supporters. I get that, hey, you need to get the experience. And for all that I have done, I still do not take that to say that, oh, I'm overly experienced. I still show up every day. I'm willing to learn. I make the mistakes. I learn from them and I push on, because at the end of the day, I'm not doing this to promote Eden Carbin. I mean, the promotion happens somewhere in between that, and that's fine and dandy. But I'm doing this because if I want other youths, and that was the basis of my decision to come out and be more open and out there into politics. Because I said to myself, look, if this millionaire or billionaire son who hasn't really done much in this realm could jump out and get into politics and go and be a presidential candidate, what is stopping you, Eden, who went to school, who went to university, who got your master's, who went to law school, and is more or less a young qualified professional? What is stopping you, Eden, from getting into the politics of your country? If the rich people could see it and do it, what's stopping you? Am I to say now that I am less than him because he has more money than me? I don't think so. And that really propelled me. And then it's the fact that, look, I'm doing this because I want the youths out there to see, look, I'm 27 years old and I'm very much involved in politics. I'm supporting my party and I'm doing everything that I can to ensure that come September 1st, my party is successful. And it's not just about the success of my party, but it's about being that poster child for the other youths out there who might be fearful, for the other professionals who might be worrying, how people would think and how people would feel. And I'm going to tell them now, it doesn't matter. People will say, and Mark, you more than most people know, people are going to say things about you. And more than likely, the people who are against you are always going to be against you. So you're not going to come into this, or you're not going to support a party and expect everything to be fine. I have been exposed to some of the most vile and disgusting statements that could be issued to a person. Somebody called me dunce, and I laugh because it's like, it could never be me. You call it dunce. It's like I've spent my entire life ensuring, and my mother reminded me of a conversation we had about 2 years ago when we were talking about politics, and I told her, hey, what? My promise to myself is that when I get into politics, I want to come in with something. Because when I get on the scene, I don't want my trajectory or my development to be stymied because somebody had to bust a link for me, or because somebody had to put in a word for me. I got in here on my own merits. I'm going to stay here on my own merits, and I'm going to continue progressing on my own merits. And if the youth could take a similar paradigm shift and look at it to say that, look, You don't need to be on the big stages like me. You don't need to be a national candidate like me. Something as simple as walking around your community and knocking on every door and finding out who's who, finding out what are the issues, bringing together a little community group, walking it, saying, hey, we want a community playground. We don't have to wait for the government. People beg for a whole set of things every day. If there's a barbecue, they beg for to build something, or they're gonna throw some raffle or something, or they're gonna go and ask for funds. Why can't we take that same energy about our community? Why can't we take that same energy about focusing to developing Guyana? We could come together as youths and say to the other youths that, hey, you want this, I want this. Let us all come together and push to get this. And finally, I was at the Guyana National Youth Council Forum representing APNU last Saturday. Two parties were not there, which is very surprising. I'm going to focus on one. The PPP was not there, which is very surprising. I want the people to notice this. This was a youth forum held by the National Youth Council, which I was made to understand is a sub-body of a political, of PPP or something to the youth, whatever it is they did. But they had a function there, and the PPP was not there. Now, they wanted us to speak about our plans and our manifesto, but I took that as an opportunity to not speak about the policy, but to speak to the youths and to encourage them, because there was an 18-year-old young man standing on the stage talking about how politicians, there's no space for youths in politics. And I was like, this is like a deja vu, because 5 years ago, I was on a similar forum standing before Guyana saying the same exact thing. And it means two things. It's either the youths just don't care, or there really is no space. And it cannot be that there's no space and I'm here. It has to be that the youths do not care, because you go on the Doggy Live, you go on the Lola Doll Live, you go on TikTok, you go in the Carter concert or any show that they have that's for fun and entertainment, and you see thousands and hundreds of youths. You call a political meeting, you call a youth forum, and you will be lucky to get 5, 10 new youths who are not normally accustomed to these stages. And that's what we need to be. So while the politics is good, while the policy is good, we need to get to the youths and we need to tell the youths that, hey, you have a role to play in this, that the roads that you see building, if you come and hold the government accountable, they can't get away with that. The money that they're thieving, if more youths come out and speak out against it, they can't get away with that. The victimization that you're getting in the public service, the poor services that you're getting, or social services. Look, today, a young lady lost her life. There's a young man who's without a mother and a father today, and he was shot by his father. That is not the society we want to live in, but we want to spend a lot of time making the Facebook posts. And don't get me wrong, there's a place for social media in our world and in our reality, but we have to understand that the social media is just the projection of what we feel. If we come out as youths and we decide today that we are going to protest, you understand, there is nothing the government can do about that, because we, as they say, hold a majority of the voting electorate. If we come out and we say we are not moving from the office of the president until they get justice, or until they could give us some assurance that this young man will be taken care of, he will be taken care of. So if we come off our phones, we come off the media, we pick up some books, we go into the political parties, we ask them some serious questions, we get to the bottom of the things, we do our research, because information is important. We find out the things, because sometimes I hear a lot of youth speaking, and by the time they're done, I could tell that they have not read anything. And we try to impart knowledge in ourselves, then the older folks have to take us serious. When we get up to speak, they have to listen. Why? Because what we're saying is not just complaints and criticisms, but they're constructive things now, and we can recommend, and we can now advise, and we can now consult with them and show and say, hey, we're the youths and we need to be heard. And if you don't want to hear us, it's either you do it by will or by force. And that is as simple as that.
Well said. 15 minutes after 10 o'clock. This reminds me of your when you first this reminds me of when you first came on 107.1 FM, and I'm sitting here and I'm just smiling. And as I reflect on what you said in the opening of your debut here, you're absolutely correct. This is what you said.
Mark, where is Mark? Oh no, I came on, I was walking, and then all of a sudden the camera's in my face. So my name is Eden Corbin, and we are going to be taking you into a little discussion about the APNU campaign. So as most of you know, it's election season in Guyana, and we have been hitting the ground for the longest while. Every day, every place, every corner of the country, we have been there, and we're just here to talk to you a little bit. You know, people said they fed up a Mark, they want a little young face, somebody a little bit more handsome, probably a little bit more smart. I'm not sure.
All right. So the little more smart and handsome part again, I am saying that I agree with you.
I'm not sure.
No, but I'm saying that each generation got to be smarter indeed. But lots of people, sorry, and if I leave tonight by saying I'm not impressed with what I'm hearing coming from you, then I'll be lying. And I want to wish you all the best. And you have a bright future ahead. You have stories to tell. You seem like the type that wants to go. You want to go, on the ground. You want to do your work. You don't just want to pop on the scene and believe that you're ready. And one of the things that you've mentioned, people should look out for people like you, people with integrity, people who are not just trying to save themselves. You're not wanted by U.S. law enforcement agencies. You're not corrupt. You're not on any sanction list or nothing. And that is where Guyana and young people should be focusing on. And I just thought I'd let the folks know that Guyana has a bright future with people like you, young people like you. Well, let me ask you this, Eden Corbin. In 1993, I believe sometime then, the PPP they got rid of free education at the university level, and they started with a tuition there that deprived possibly hundreds of thousands of young people over the 23 and plus 5 years. Do you think that a lot of young people your age, or maybe a little older, a little younger than you, are aware that it was the PNC in 1976 that started free education from nursery to university, and that it's the PPP that took away free education at the university level? You think a lot of young people know that?
No, I do not think a lot of them know. And I believe that if they took the time to read, to get the information, interrogate the history, it would be very obvious to them that the notion of free education is not something that is new to Guyana. And to add to that as well, while I spent time at the University of the West Indies pursuing my first degree, I was made aware how important it was, because what I learned was that we were supposed to fall under the umbrella of the University of the West Indies, but Burnham said no. He wanted us to be able to develop our own education system and develop our own class of young, trained, educated professionals that could be able to promote and develop Guyana internally. I mentioned it before that I believe that this is a part of the PPP strategy to create dependence. And to me, it hints and it is very analogous to slavery. Because when you think about it, during the time of slavery, one of the things that was key to keeping the Africans and the other ethnicities under slavery and bondage was the fact that they took away education from them. The education that the slaves received was basically the, as they would say, the white man education, the knowledge and the what's the word I'm looking for? But the indoctrination that they received was that of what the people in power wanted them to receive, because they understood. And when you do the readings, they understood that if the slaves became more educated, if the slaves began to get more knowledge and they understood things better, then they would realize that they're slaves by choice. And that is the same thing that we see with the PPP taking away the free education. Because if they realize that more persons in the country are being educated, then they got to kill them just like how they did to Ronald Waddell. You understand? that is their modus operandi. And for anybody, whether you look like me, or whether you look like Mark, or whether you're from a different ethnicity, for anybody to want to support a party that takes away what should be a basic right, because it was embarrassing going to University of West Indies and every other Caribbean state or CARICOM country, from Barbados all the way down, their country heavily subsidized their education. And we as Guyanese over there are paying not regional fees, but we're paying international student rates. So you mean you have a student from Germany in the same class as me? I'm living right in Guyana. I have the same CARICOM passport as most of the persons in this class, and we are paying international rates because once they could put a price on education and they could make it not as accessible, then persons will need to become more dependent on the government for certain things. But when you have a young professional class and a young middle class filled with educated people, there are more jobs, there are going to be more innovations, there are going to be less societal or social friction amongst persons, because people are not going to be seeing themselves in relation to middle, upper, and lower. They're going to be seeing themselves as, hey, I got this, so I could do more with myself. So the planting chip stand moves from a planting chip stand to a planting chip industry, because with an educated person at the helm of that, you're able to bring your knowledge, and the schooling and the education you receive at the university level does not just shape or teaches you the specialized knowledge that it provides, but it also provides you with critical skills, how you're able to now solve problems, how you're able to now properly assess your issues. And we see the parity in today's society, where you have a lot of youth who feel that $1 million contract and a little $30,000 in a shirt is the government looking out for me. But if you took a little time to read and to interrogate that a little bit more, you would realize that that $30,000 cannot do anything. And the fact of the matter is that they can pay $30,000 to 100 people means that there is a lot of money. Because where is that money coming from? That means there's a lot more money that you are not getting. But you see, they limit your education, so they're limiting your brain's ability to develop. And that's why they wanted to take it away, because once again, they want the Guyanese people to be reliant upon them in the same way that the colonizers wanted the slaves to be dependent. And as the great philosopher Bob Nestor Marley said, none but us can free our minds, right? And it is for us as the Guyanese people to remove these mental bondages that have been placed on us, not by our colonizers, but by our government. And I put that in parentheses because they cannot be, and you are treating us like if you're just mirroring the same thing that the colonizers did. Limit the opportunities, put blockades, and keep these particular things, so that a minister of government could stand up in a public forum and say that for the first time in somebody's life, they're able to see $1 million. What is that? This could not be the fastest growing economy, where your biggest tagline or your biggest thing to promote yourself is that people are now seeing $1 million, when you have people on the other side saying that 40 million to 50 million is chump change, where a man could spend 600,000 US dollars, which is more money than my brain can calculate at this point. But a man can spend 600,000 US dollars to bring in one vehicle, and we cannot get steady electricity. We cannot get potable water. We cannot get proper infrastructure. But you go down in Georgetown, somebody is building a hotel. Somebody is building a next building, and you're claiming that they're providing jobs. What are the jobs that are being provided? Janitorial staff, cleaning staff? Because I don't think you're going to go into the ghettos and give a ghetto youth who's been managing a drug enterprise or whatever the opportunity to come and transition his skills to managing a first class business. You understand? So when I hear those kind of things about the free education and these kind of things, it's laughable. It's laughable, because we know that. Yeah, go ahead.
No.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
because we know that as youths, education is key. And if you're going to give us education, nursery to secondary cannot be enough, because you want us as Guyanese to be able to compete not just at the national level, but we need to be able to compete at the regional level, at the international level, at the global level. And when you have a university, you're able to now cultivate your creative arts sector. So everybody doesn't have to go to school like me and study law. In Trinidad, University of the West Indies has a program called Carnival Studies, which is an indigenous bachelor's degree that you can get. And once you're trained in Carnival Studies, you could branch out into music, you could branch out into designing, you could branch out into decor. And it is a whole industry that is created through education. But you see, when you take all that away now, you create the dependency. We got to go to the government to do that. Because if more persons were educated, they wouldn't take the young girl, Adriana's young death, for us to realize that a simple thing as going live and speaking out against the government and standing and not losing our ground could really cause change. It would not take the loss of Quindon Bacchus or the young man from Linden Keon Fudgeny for us to realize that there is power in the consortium of the people. But when we don't have the education, these things tend to go unchecked. They tend to go under the mat because we're too busy fighting with the wind pain that we have. We're too busy fighting with the lack of money, the lack of resources, the lack of a proper quality of life. And we're too busy trying to go to the government. Oh, Mr. Ali, I got a house land. I need a little allocation. Oh, Mr. Jack Dio, I want a little contract. And we are begging for things that we deserve. That is why my party could confidently say, hey, we are going to give everybody a house lot. They're going to say to us, oh, that's not feasible. The PPP does not even understand what feasibility is if we spelt it out for them. Look at the average. How can the Minister of Government say that they will not do a test on a major road that connects two regions? Do you know how many people live over on region 2, region 3 that travel to town? And that in itself is an issue. Why is the fastest growing economy not decentralized as yet? Why can't the people on the west side work and live and enjoy life in the west side? Why can't the people in Linden work, live, and enjoy and build a life in Linden and come to town for leisure? And then you want to know why we have traffic issues. And I hate to think that I am the only person thinking about that. But you see, the education that they took from us robs us of this opportunity. So instead of chasing knowledge, we're chasing money. And money comes, money goes. And you can ask the PPP come September 1st. They will tell you money will come and money will go. You understand? But you cannot take away a man's education. But they have managed to do that. So come September 1st, we can't go back and play any games with them again, Mark. We got to be resolute. We got to be strong. And we got to hold the fort and stay in place. Because for them to move means that we can't budge either.
Well said. 28 minutes. Noticed a lot of folks commenting. They're saying things like, and this is what you've caused to me, Eden, Mark Meaty Meter. Mark Meaty Meter. And it is okay. I like the courage of this young man. I like his strength. And I am being very honest that he has a very, very long way to go in politics and possibly at some point in time become the president of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. I'm impressed with what I'm hearing. And he's not the only young man within the team who is like that. There are lots and lots of young people, and we've got to hear the young people. These are the folks who will take over when we are no longer here. I'm almost approaching old man's category, Eden. You agree or not?
I'll sit this one out.
Eden, let us, before we go, please. We know you mentioned people and bringing in fancy vehicles, $600 million in taxes and those nonsense. People, one person or family, they got, and these are the people who are claiming that they can save Guyana now, 83,000 acres of land. All these things. I mean, it's a shame and disgrace. Guyana and Guyanese must be able to breathe again. But quickly before we go, two reasons why young people or old people like me or middle-aged people like some of them in the audience who are laughing at me right now, compliments of you, Eden. And you know after tonight what, right? We're going to pull it. Eden, so I'm impressed with what you guys are offering, the free house lot. I'm impressed with the free house lot. Guyanese deserve that, because if one particular people, if the Mohammeds and them could get 83,000 acres of land, 83,000. These are people who should be talking about poor people in this country and what they are going to do and that nonsense. 83,000. But I'm impressed, though, with the free house lot. What are two things that the message that you would want to give to young people, not so young people, old people like Leighton Charles and Wayne Caesar and others who are watching? Talk to us about two things that will make people, those who are on the fence, those who have one foot over somewhere, those who are going to go with some other party because of emotions, use that magnet. And you seem to have that. Compliments of Miss Rollaire and others. You know Miss Rollaire. She might be watching.
Yeah. Big up Miss Rollaire 10
Bring-
times.
Bring those. Miss Rollaire is from QC there. You can make joke with the English, right? With Miss Rollaire.
No.
Beautiful woman. Let me say this to you, though, Eden. Bring those people across to your team and let them go out and vote come September 1st. Two reasons why they should go out and support APNEL.
Well, the first reason is a no-brainer. It's because it's what's right. It's the right thing to do. If you're older in age, or you're a little bit more seasoned, as some people would say, then you will understand that what we're doing is not necessarily reinventing the wheel, but we are just giving you what you deserve. And on top that off, if that's not enough, the second reason is $100,000 in old age pension. For those of you with grandchildren, $120,000 for you, for each child, right? You'll be getting that per year, you understand? And for your grandchildren, we're giving them not just free tertiary education, not just at UG, but at any tertiary institution. We're going to also be giving your grandchildren $50,000 per month as a stipend just for studying, because we're going to let them know. I see somebody say in the comments that somebody said education is not important. Education is valuable. And for those reasons, you should support. And more importantly, as the point I was making, I think it was Saturday, is that our manifesto is a holistic approach. I heard it today. It is a map that we are giving you to develop Guyana. That means we're not just putting money in your pocket, but we're ensuring that we put things in place to ensure that the money doesn't just stay in your pocket, but that you now can multiply the money in your pocket. We're going to be providing more jobs. We're going to be ensuring that the infrastructure is better. We're going to be reducing travel internally and externally. We're going to be introducing more social programs dedicated and geared towards not just making your life easier, but improving the quality of life. Because the reality is, when you look at the numbers, when you study the economy, you can see that it is true. Guyana is growing fast, but instead of the fastness growing within one sector or one particular building on Robb Street, the entire of Georgetown could benefit. The entire of Guyana could be able to benefit. And it does not require you now to sell your soul. It does not require you to do a video, where somebody's holding up a cue card telling you what to say. You will do it because you will realize that this is what we need to do at this junction. We've made some mistakes as a country in the past, and that includes both sides. But now we're not looking to what mistakes we've made. We are looking to our future. We're looking to the life of our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren. We're looking at the legacy of development that we want to leave back for all Guyanese who are coming after us.
Well said, Eden Corbin. I can put my last dollar. I don't have $1 billion, but of course I have integrity, right? And I'm not on any sanction. Anyways, I can bet my last dollar that Eden Corbin First of all, his middle name is Anthony, and secondly, he's a Virgo.
It's David.
David. Okay. And you've got to be a Virgo. Tell me you're a Virgo. You're too smart.
Capricorn. I don't really know the signs. I only know mine because my birthday is December 24th. So I just know that as Capricorn.
You were supposed to born on September, but you just went over. So we understand. But Eden Corbin, on a serious note, lots and lots of people are impressed with you. You will be back many a times, hopefully, before September 1st. You and your young team and others there on APNU's coalition team. Thank you so much for your time, and we really do appreciate it. Get some rest. The other day I heard that you paid $4,800 for just one meal, and then there was another meal that was over $5,000. It's ridiculous that a country that is supposed to be the little Dubai and the richest growing economy, fastest growing economy, you got to pay all that money for food. When you paid $4,800 for a meal, did you any change?
Nah, I actually that was probably all I ate for the next couple of days. Thank God for parents and good friends. To be able to support you, but sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. And when you would know when you're on the campaign trail, money and these things don't really feel the same way. It's more about being able to move on to the next location. I just came off from a rally. We were on the ground earlier, and it's fun. It's enjoyable, but as most of my friends and my family keep telling me, you got to find time to rest. I tell them I could rest after September 1st.
Absolutely. And even after September 1st, win, lose, or draw, you still got to continue working.
Well, the work will continue. I can guarantee you that, Guyana will be seeing lots more of me, after September 1st, regardless of the outcome, even though we're pretty sure and secure about what outcome is going to happen, but we're going to be pushing.
Eden Corbin, the man from Betsy Ground, make a lot of people there in Kanji there and his relatives, whether in Betsy Ground, Georgetown, or whether in Linden, whether in Ituni, whether in Kokwani, whether at Philippi, on the quarantine, Alnis Village, wherever you are, Bartica, wherever. This is a young man that he represents all of you young people. And all of you should be proud of him. All of us should be proud of him because he is from the community. He's from the village. And therefore, brave young people like Eden Charles, we've got to give them our salute and kudos. Thanks again. Better looking and smarter than Ben Shell. Thank you, sir. And to all of you, we've got to go. It's been a long night for us. It's been a long day for me and the campaign trail. We have joined the campaign trail, so to speak, indirectly, that we are going to be given the APNU Coalition time right here on 107.1 FM because we want to see them, whether it's 1 week or whether it's 1 week of endorsement, whether it's 1 month, whether it's 2 months, 3 months of campaigning. Victory is a must, and that's just my opinion. And all of us have to remain optimistic, get off of the emotions, get emotional grounds, and deal with policies, and go out there and support the party of your choice. In this case, APNU. If you have to campaign, if you have to, donate to the campaign, get in touch with the folks at Congress Place and make your donation, whether it's T-shirts, whether it's buttons, whether it's money, whatever it is, you know what you can do, whether it's prayers or whether it's sharing on Facebook, the green hearts and the symbols and so forth. Do just that. But for now, I'm out of here. My name is Mark Anthony Benshaw, and I'm not from Betsy Ground. I'm from Linden, Second Alley, Focus Street side. And then I went off to Philippi on the quarantine. I know some people at Betsy Ground. Yeah. Anyways, I'm out of here. God bless all of you. See you tomorrow night. Same place, same time. Ta-ta.
People want to know how to vote. People want to know how to vote. You understand me? Look carefully. Where you put the X. Right there. Right at the palm. You get your ballot box. You go to the ballot. You go to the booth. You go in the booth, collect your ballot, and you go and you watch all the candidates. And you go and you put your X right there at the palm. Right there! So
I am Aubrey Compton Norton, presidential candidate of their Partnership for National Unity. We have the best team in this election campaign. We have the best manifesto with the plans, policies that will take you out of poverty. We will ensure that money is put into your pocket. For those reasons, we urge you to vote APNU. Put your X next to the palm. Ghana needs to grow, so the PPP must go. The only party that can give us a better and brighter future is a partnership for national unity. I urge you to put your X next to the palm and enjoy a high quality life. Thank you.
Yes. You want to tell me all these years, Mohammed and his father and all of them is a part of PPP that had gone at the PPP office, Freedom House on Rob Street, protecting the PPP from the black people and PNC. And all the time, you there in there, you never see that they ill-treating black people, they killing out black people. You never see this corruption within this party. All the time, you, your family, your uncle, your father, your sister, your mother, everybody supporting this party. Y'all never see that this party is corrupt. Never at no point in time until sanctions start raining down upon you and you expect them to cover you, and they did not cover you. They took away all your gold and diamond license and your business license, your Cambio license, and you get upset. And then you started to decide that, you know what, I can run for election to get rid of the sanction, and I can run for election to get back at it.
I am Aubrey Compton Norton, presidential candidate of the Partnership for National Unity. We have the best team in this election campaign. We have the best manifesto with the plans, policies that will take you out of poverty. We will ensure that money is put into your pocket. For those reasons, we urge you to vote APNU. Put your X next to the palm. Ghana needs to grow, so the PPP must go. The only party that can give us a better and brighter future is a partnership for national unity. I urge you to put your X next to the palm and enjoy a high quality life. Thank you.
People want to know how to vote. People want to know how to vote. You understand me? Look carefully. Where you put the X? Right there. Right at the palm. You get your ballot box. You go to the ballot, you go to the booth. You go in the booth, collect your ballot, and you go and you watch all the candidates. And you go and you put your X right there at the palm. Right there! So you know how to vote now. Right at the palm.
There and fabricate that. Unless you say who the person is, I can't comment on anonymous people.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Su Jurong?
Su? Oh, Su? My relationship? Nothing. He's a tenant in my place, yeah.
And he's a good friend of yours?
Yes, yes, he is a friend of ours.